once again at a great small business in the Denver area. I'm here with Kathy Ryan, who is the owner of Pacific Island Books. Kathy, I know there's bookstores out there, internet stores out there. It's the wave of the future. People are picking up all their reading materials anymore on the World Wide Web. You've found a niche here that basically is quite interesting. And why don't you tell me, first of all, what made you decide to go out there and make this service available?
Well, I've always liked books. I had never had an intention of selling books, but what we do now is import books from Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands. The reason I got into it is I did an import before I started bringing in books. I imported a husband from New Zealand. Turns out he's an author, and he was published in New Zealand. And it was this particular book here, Fjordland Underwater, that he wanted to get out on Amazon. And his publisher came out from New Zealand, and they did a road trip. They wound up finding a distributor, and the deal fell through. So all we wanted to do is get his book out on Amazon, for whom you need a local distributor, author, publisher. And in a moment of insanity, I think, I said, I'll do it. So I took his title and 3 other titles with his publisher in New Zealand and decided to start Pacific Island Books. That's how it started.
Wow, fantastic. So basically, like a lot of small companies out there, basically in a moment of insanity, as you call it, in a moment of need when nobody else will do what you needed done, you decided to go ahead and pick up the tools and get it done.
And then what happened was he used to teach in Fiji. And we decided to contact them because they produce some wonderful books as well. So we contacted the University of the South Pacific, and they decided to have us distribute their books. We were in New Zealand and Fiji and decided again through the internet to contact other publishers and picked up several other publishers from New Zealand. And then we figured as long as we're in New Zealand and Fiji, why don't we go to Australia as well? So we're now, after starting with one publisher, we're now representing 80 different small publishing companies and independent authors and photographers.
Tell me some of your clientele. I'm sure they look for you and seek you out to maybe find some rare titles that they couldn't find, and not only that, but the up and coming.
It's interesting how people find us. They look for us because they're looking for a particular time in history. We have some books about World War, the different wars where ships were involved down in the Pacific, and people were just looking for information about different cultures and customs and societies. We have students, and we also sell to bookstores, and we also provide our titles to Amazon. We have people looking for books for their children and young adults. It's amazing when someone finds us because they can't find our books elsewhere. They either have to go down under to find them, or they can search on Amazon. But if they find one of our books on Amazon, we're supplying it to them as well.
So basically somebody out there is doing some research looking for a book of this type. They have to do their research to find you, and then once they bring a title to you, do you have to go and do some research yourself as far as trying to find something for them?
Sometimes we do, and that's something I really enjoy doing. We have the particular list of titles from the publishers we represent, and sometimes we'll just have someone call and say, I saw this book when I was traveling down in the Cook Islands, can you find it? And I do have some resources that I can use, and sometimes I will be able to get a copy of a book that they want. Sometimes it's a used copy, but it's always fun meeting that requirement for a particular customer.
You provided a service now for other authors who are basically trying to get their books out there. Let's talk a little bit more about the books that you started this all with, and maybe we can focus on, tell me about this first book here.
This first book was written by my husband, Fjordland Underwater, and I took this along with 3 other titles. And I have to tell you, my very first customer was Joyce Meskis, who is the owner of Tattered Cover Bookstore, locally owned here in Denver. And I was nervous as all heck. Went in with my 4 books and met with her, and I was amazed that she would even meet with me. And after sitting and talking with her and her international buyer, she said, I'll take 8 books. And I was so excited. That was my first sale. So I sold to another bookstore, and she picked up the 8 books. And basically, from there, it's all history. We built our website, and we only sell through our website and through contact. We don't have a brick-and-mortar store, but we're happy to sell the books and our services as a mom-and-pop company to our customers.
Tell me about the second book here.
Let's see, this one is Whispers of Waitaha. It's a spiritual book about put together by the grandmothers of the Maori people down in New Zealand. And there are actually 2 books in this series, and the author, is just coming out to the States from New Zealand to promote her book and her people. So that was something that I thought was very interesting and wanted to share. And I'm going to go on to Fiji's Natural Heritage, which was also written by my husband, and I happen to love the cover and enjoy traveling down to Fiji. That's another perk for selling books from the South Pacific.
I was going to say, I would think that clients start gaining a big interest after they come back from a lot of these places. They want to learn more about the culture. They see the beauty of the land, the photography. I mean, everything must be fantastic. Do you kind of find that?
Definitely. We often cater to people who want to travel down there, and they'll ask for our advice. And I've only been to a few places down under. My husband has been to more of the islands, and we're very happy to just give advice on what to see, where to go, and what to do when people are down there. We also supplement our books, not just books down under, but we sell Lonely Planet guides and other books that are about the different areas, so people can get that information from us in one place.
It's amazing what the one book evolved into.
And it's really interesting dealing with the different people and publishers and authors that contact us that they would like us to sell their book on our website. This is one book that I highly recommend. It's one of the few that I got to read myself. It looks like a children's book from the cover, but it's not. It's got some heavy-duty subject matter. It's a story about a girl growing up in Samoa, and it's just beautifully written. C.F. Igel is an award-winning author, and it's just one I would highly recommend. I am very proud to say that we do have a local author. This is an author who's just north of Denver, and she wrote this historical novel about Midway Island. And so we do carry a little bit of everything, not just topics about the South Pacific, but anything that comes from there or is about there. We went up into Manila, and we include Hawaii, in the Pacific, but not quite South Pacific. And I think we have Easter Island, so we're kind of edging a little bit outside of the South Pacific area, but mostly keep to that area.
Perfect. We've got some viewers out there who are probably glad to maybe have found this service if they're looking for a particular book. What would you tell them as a first step for them on contacting you, and how does it go from there?
Please check out our website, www.pacificislandbooks.com. That's the first step. And even if you don't see it out there, because I admit we are a little behind with keeping our website up to date, if you're interested in the South Pacific at all, contact us. You can reach us by email at pacificbks@aol.com. And we take a very personal approach to each and every one of our customers.
You got it. You heard it all right there, folks. As you can see, she basically took on a need that was basically a need of her own, and she turned it into a small little company that now is flourishing out on the World Wide Web, and she's always taking on new clients, very personal to her, that make sure she gets what you maybe need. And she has started out with one area, New Zealand, Australia, and then moved on from there, and before you know it, even the outer edges of Hawaii, like you said, which is fantastic. So take a look. The website's at the bottom of the screen right there. You can contact them, get a hold of them, as well as the phone number right there. She will be glad to help you out. Remember, this is a Denver-based business, and so she would be glad to assist anybody here in the Mile High City, anywhere in the world, anywhere abroad. So this is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.